If you are planning to invest or buy a new home in Johor Bahru in Malaysia, whether it's your first home or rental unit or long-term investment, this video might save you thousands of ringgit and a lot of stress. Because I'm going to share with you the biggest three mistakes most beginners make when they start investing in property here in Johor Bahru, Malaysia, and how to avoid them so you can invest safely and profitability. Because this is something that I can see a lot of people make the mistakes, and this is just not have been one or two times, but repeated many times, right? So if you don't know me, my name is Drew Budiman, and I've been living in Johor Bahru for over 7 years, 7 to 8 years now. But originally, I'm from Indonesia, right? And before that, I spent few years working and studying in Singapore at the same time. So this experience going to help you to understand both sides, how that you can start investing or owning properties in Johor Bahru, and if that's even a good idea for you to start or not, depending on your situation, and how Singaporean and Indonesian investors think, and what actually happens on the ground here in Johor Bahru, right? Because there's so many news coming up, SEZ, RTS, and so many things. And I've been learning about this real estate directly from my mentor, who has over 30 years of experience in Malaysian property industry. So through that, I can share a lot of insider knowledge on what makes a property investment in JB successful and what traps to avoid, so you can have the best chance of gaining the yield return in the years ahead. So today I want to share those lessons with you, and especially if you're a beginner planning to invest here in JB soon, I want to give you the three mistakes that you need to avoid, that you can have better understanding about this market, right? So mistake number one is that buying in the wrong location. So a lot of people, before they start to look into which properties that they give them the biggest yield of return, they always look into the location, right? Location is like one primary factor that determining if this investment property is going to yield the best way or maybe not, right? So in order for you to know the location, you need to know about the environment. Is there going to be any projects in the future, or was there any bad history on this project, and how is that going to affecting the development of that project in this area? So it's very important also to see, is it far from the main roads, is it has poor accessibility, or there's malls nearby and there's a big attraction magnet for the price increase, and also how that you can see the population growth. So the growth of the environment and how the mall is going to be, and how is that look like to affecting how that you want to make decision based on this location, right? When you buy there, the rental yield drops, then the property value stagnates, then it's just the ending of the property, right? So you always want to check three things on here, right? Number one is accessibility. How is the accessibility of the location look like? Is that something easily reach out from CIQ, RTS link? So accessibility, that's number one in this location that you need to assess. And then also amenities, right? Is there any cafes, malls, schools, or hospitals nearby? And also about the supply. Is there so many competition that going crime in that area that's going to affecting price per square feet, or is that still many leeways in the future project development on that area? So that's also the supply, right? Supply and demand is the first rule of the investing. So cheap properties doesn't mean good value, right? And it's better to buy a good project at a fair price rather than cheap one at a bad location, right? So that's the first rule that you need to remember. And the mistake number two, a lot of people also have, they move into the wrong timing, right? They invest in the wrong timing. So the second mistake is buying at the wrong time or invest at the wrong time. Johor Bahru market moves is always in cycles, right? Not only Johor Bahru, always almost all markets in the world always in cycles. Right now, it's entering the new exciting phase with the RTS link, Johor SEZ, Special Economic Zone, opening new business corridors, new ventures, a lot of industrials coming up, and investor investing inside the JB. And there are many competition at the same time because many people want to use this opportunity all together, right? So this timing is very crucial. What's going to happen in the next 1 year? What's going to happen in the next 2 years? After RTS done, after SEZ is developed and mature, what's going to be the difference in pricing? So everything is going to circle back to the timing of when that you want to start investing in that location area at the same time. So it's linked up to the number one, to the location, but timing will dictate if this is the right time, or should you wait, or was it too late, right? Because if it's too late, then nothing that you can do to make it resurrect the place again, right? So timing is still very important aspect for you to see, and don't get into the wrong timing. If you want to know what is actually the right timing or the bad timing, I'll make another content on this. Just drop me a comment below and I'll make a deeper content talking about this timing thing, right? And don't forget, if you're new to my channel, just hit subscribe, hit likes, hit share, and help my channel to grow, because you will get this kind of daily insights more often, so you can know how that you can invest more smarter in, especially in JB Town area. All right, so that's number 2. And number 3 is that you are paying for suffocating price. So I'm calling them a suffocating price. This is a very big mistake that a lot of people, they thought like, all right, I will just get the property first and think about how to pay that later, right? Especially in Indonesia, if you're Indonesian, you know KPR, right? KPR is the Kredit Perumahan Rakyat, which is how that you can get cheap loan basically to get a great house, great home that it will pay off in the next few years. But there's a caveat to that, is because you need to calculate your own mortgage. You need to calculate how is that your finances gonna be in the next 30 years, next 20 years. Do you have a good backup? Do you have a good position in your finances when you want to start investing? That is going to determine how is your entry level for this property, right? So just because the bank says that you approve for, let's say, 800,000 ringgit, right, doesn't mean you should spend the whole 800,000, right? This is the biggest mistake. When bank says that, okay, you approve for 1 million ringgit, then a lot of hype coming up, and then you just like, okay, let me just go with that 1 million ringgit, right? That will be suffocating moment for you in the next few years, because you need to see some risk behind this, right? You need to be able to know the exit strategy. You need to know how that you can commit and calculate the monthly payments look like. What is your comparison between your income level, your residual income, and also investment amount that you want to commit to the property? And is this your first property? Is this the second property? All the variables are matter in these finances, right? So don't let the price because the suffocating situation for you that you will need to take another loan to complete the payment, and that's not a good idea, right? You always been in the stuck cycle because of this. So before you commit, I would say I have a 3 question that you can ask of a very important question you can ask yourself, right? So how can you handle, let's say, 2 to 3 months of vacancy, right? If you don't get any income for like 2 to 3 months, can you still pay the mortgage? Can you still handle the vacancy of not getting any return that 2 to 3 months, right? Can you at least also rent cover on that area? Again, go back to the timing and location at the same time. Is that going to be able to cover at least maybe 80% of the loan, right? Is that, if you are doing it for investment, is that covering 80% of the loan? Because if it's lower than that, it's going to be very hard for your finances to keep paying that. And also, are you comfortable if, let's say, the interest increasing, right? So the interest rate is something that you need to calculate at the same time, because a lot of people didn't calculate the interest rate, and when they know after 10, 15, 30 years, they're broken down with their finances, right? So it's going to be very hard on that. So you need to be smart, not emotional, when spending your money in investing into properties, because this is very important for you to decide if this is the right timing, is the right location, is this the right pricing for you to do, right? So as a summary, these 3 costly mistakes is going to dictate whether you become a smart investor and make money off the property or maybe not, right? The first one is the location, right? Location dictates where you want to invest, the environment, the city, the accessibility, the supply and demand on that area. The second one is the timing. Are you going in with the right time? Is it too late? Is it too early, or is it too mature already, right? And the third one is the price. How that you are you competing by the price there? Are you having a good finances there? So it's all consideration that you need to know. So if you want to know better about this, you want to dig deeper based on your current finances, your situation, your location, just drop me a comment, invest below, and WhatsApp me. You can see the description below how that you can connect with me, and I'm going to share with you what are the tips, what are the things that you should avoid, what are the things that you should do so you can invest smarter and safer and more clarity in Johor Bahru city in Malaysia. Right? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share it. I'll see you in the next video.